106 in Park.
How I got that shot, I once again to Washington, D.C. Park at 14th. That's been my longest running residency in my career. So when you think of a DJ, most DJs, if you play at the club, you're there for a year, 3, 5 years if you tops. I've been at Park, shout out to Mark Barnes, partners on Fridays for the last 14, almost 15 years.
Right.
I say all to say the segue in 106 in Park. That's why I love DC so much, because DC is such a melting pot of important people. You think of major markets, a lot of times if there's concerts, you kind of, sometimes they bypass people when they go straight to DC, to New York, and Houston, Atlanta, all the big markets.
Right.
So Terrence Clayton is his name. I remember one day I'm DJing at Park, and Terrence Clayton, didn't know him at the time, he comes to me, and my tagline is the party kingpin, and I don't DJ, I perform. So if you ever seen me perform live, like I really put on a show. I talk, I do crowd response, I mix, scratch, all in one. I'm my own host. I don't need to hype. I don't need any. I'm a one-man show. Right. So I'm rocking Park.
Talk that shit.
I ain't talking shit. Good shit, right? These are all facts.
That's right.
These are all facts.
I watch your page, so yeah, that's right.
So Terrence Clayton comes to Park one Friday, and this is when business cards was hot. He came to me, was like, man, I ain't really seen a DJ outside of New York like talk and mix like you. Like, if you think of DJs, even some of the biggest DJs in the 80s, 90s, you had a DJ, then you had a host on the mic. You're like, are you hosting and DJing and you doing like, he's like, you ever thought about doing TV? I was like, nah, man. He's like, well, here's my business card. Give me a call. I control the talent for BET 106 in Park. And this was a new show at the time. So I ain't call him because I thought it was some mighty bullshit. In this industry, niggas industry talk so much. This thing
that's that Baltimore DC mentality. Niggas
like,
faking.
This probably some intern nigga made up a business card. I ain't calling nigga. So 2 weeks later, he comes back. And he like, yo, you ain't call me, man. I'm trying to get you to come on BET 106 in Park. I like, I'm gonna call you Monday. I'm still thinking he bluffing. I know I'm gonna call him, and it's the number you reach do not exist. So I call him. He like, yo, how soon can you get to New York? We film on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I like, shit, nigga, I'll be there tomorrow. So I hop on the train, go to New York. I go there. At the time, this is before Biles. I'm thinking, who was hosting? This is right after Roxy. I mean, this is after Freaking Ages. This was Terrence Day and Roxy. Terrence Day and Roxy had just took over 106 in Park. So I go up there. And I walk in and it hit me like, oh shit, nigga, like this really BET, this is a real studio. So I go in there, he's like, all right, here's your cue, you're gonna open the show, you're gonna do this. So I do it, and in my mind, I thought I did good. But afterwards, he gave me like your good job, I'll be in touch. If you know anybody in the industry, I'll be in touch means I'm never calling you. So I'm like, that whole train ride back, I'm beating myself up like, damn, I must have played the wrong shit. I ain't have enough energy. I must have stuttered. Like, I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? So like a week or two go by and I don't hear from him. And I'm like, that was, at least I did it once. I got off my bucket list. And then he called me like 2 weeks later. Was like, quick, if we like locked you in, could you come to New York once a week? I'm like, first I say, it's crazy you calling me back. I thought like I fucked up. He said, nah, we've been busy. We already had people scheduled. I meant to call you back. He's like, nah, we need you to come once a week. We're gonna lock you in. And that one time turned to like, I was on there for 4 or 5 seasons. I can't think how many years that was. But that came from DJing at Park. And that was another life-changing thing because from DJing in 106 in Park, I would go to New York once a week and then shout out to my man Big Theo, Hollywood Chuck, a lot of the promoters in New York at the time, and they still promote. They started locking me in for parties in New York. Shout out my guy DJ Self. I met him. We locked in, and it was crazy to see. Like, now I'm DJing in DC on the regular. I'm DJing in New York on the regular, and I'm just every month building my resume, and 106 Park was dope, man.
And you came down here and made such a splash, and I don't want to put no pressure on your checks, right?
No, you good.
But I gotta ask this. You had the tunnel, DC tunnel, which was legendary.
Absolutely.
DC Live, which was legendary.
Facts.
But only one of them can go up top of the other one. In that Hall of Fame, which joint go on top?
On top of DC Live and Tunnel?
Yeah. What's Mark joint? I'm saying, Mark.
Oh, Live. I'm not Live. That's my Love. Dream.
Love. DC Live. Which one go 1, 2?
Oh, Love. Nothing like Love.
Nothing like Love.
Nothing like Love. But Dream. Let's call it. Let's go back to the day when it was Dream first. Then it turned to Love.
Right.
DC Live was a monster.
Right.
I remember first when I played there, I never seen a mega club with 5 levels, 10 DJs. Like I never seen shit like that. But Dream changed the face of nightlife in America. Like this is what people don't know. Dream was one of the top grossing nightclubs in America for years. Like Dream literally redefined how mega clubs operate. Mark Barnes, this is why I call him the GOAT, and I've worked with everybody.
Right, yeah.
Alex in Atlanta, David Grutman in Miami, all the big dog, not promoters, the big boss.
Right.
So when Dream came, Dream had damn near the East Coast coming.
Right.
Like DC Live was big. And you had a lot of people come from other places, but Dream was almost 90% tourists.
Right.
You had people coming from
just to come to
everywhere.
Dreams. Right.
New York to Atlanta. People were flying to DC every Friday. Like Dream Friday was something that like the world had. Cause back then, it wasn't Live in Miami. It wasn't a mega club where everybody was going and all the celebrities. And not just that. That's when Mark Barnes brought the celebrity. Right. Like, I mean, everybody had been a Dream, from Jay-Z to the president to Beyonce. Like, you wasn't.
He'll workhorse. He putting sand on the ground with others on Republican.
And that's what Mark did. Like, Mark, he started, Quigley's and Republican. But by the time he got the Dream, that's what I learned from Mark was he never spared an expense.
Yeah, shortchanged nothing.
He did it and did it the best.
Yeah.
But this one I'm gonna fuck your head up at.
Yeah.
Dream, Dream and Love, whatever you want to call it, depending on how old you are. Yeah. That was the club that, like, that was DC royalty.
Right.
DC Live was big, Platinum was big, Rich was big. Right. But the club for me, that made Quicksilva like the guy in DC, and niggas don't give it enough credit because it wasn't around as long as the Dreams and stuff. Do you know what it was?
No, because I'm thinking you a little young, so I wasn't going to say that, so I couldn't have been a Rich. You was young for that.
Nah. Yeah. The club that made me the guy, so I'm going to tell you the first 2 clubs that really like gave me a big check. It was Zanzibar and H2O, right? Those are 2 clubs that like really Foot, Mr. Green and Abdul, my OGs. Right. Those are the first 2 clubs that really like saw my vision to be a party rocker and really hired me to like perform.
Do your thing.
But the club that, it didn't make me, but the club that when I came to town, Ibiza.
Oh yeah,
Ibiza was like a bat out of hell. Yeah. And Mark Barnes hate when I say this because I think, me and Mark been partners for 20 plus years, from Republic to Dream to Park. Right. But Ibiza, because the run was short. You got to think Ibiza was only open 4 or 5 years, and the run when it was at its peak was only like 2 years, 3 years tops. So it was short. Yeah. Shout out to Eric Clean and Demo, because they were the promoters and owners at the time. But long story short, Ibiza was the club, and I know Mark gonna kill me. He said, "Nigga, don't say that shit again." It hurt Dream because you gotta think Dream was the king on Fridays for 10 years. Right. Dream to Love, everybody was going 3,000-4,000 people. I remember the night we did the grand opening of Ibiza. It was me and Kim Kardashian. And what Ibiza did differently than every club that we mentioned, from Ritz to everything, Ibiza brought the show. So Dream was big, and you had, and all those clubs were big, but Ibiza was the first club that I can remember that brought that Miami Vegas style club to DC. Like when you had a DJ, a light man, effects man, you had go-go dancers. I remember coming my first night at Ibiza, it screens in the club that says, "Welcome to Ibiza, Quicksilva performing live." Like, it was like some shit you had never seen. Right. Like, I remember people walking into Ibiza the first time saying, I feel like I'm in fucking Vegas. Like, the lights, the confetti coming out of there. Everything that Liv has in Miami, Ibiza brought that to DC. Right. And DC had never seen that. Like, you had mega clubs, you had big go-go's, but you had never seen a club where the DJ was like the focal point. Because up until that, think of all the clubs we named, from Ritz to DC Live to... Love to Dream to H2O to, you name all those big clubs. Back then, the DJ was always important, but the DJ booth was always somewhere small in the corner. Right. It was, right here in that, and up in the sky right there where nobody can see it. Ibiza was the first club to put the DJ the focal point of the club. I mean, I was 20 feet in the air by a 50-foot long booth with me, a sound man, and a light guy. And I'm DJing. If you pull up some old YouTubes, I'm DJing. I'm like, all right, turn the lights out. And the lights go out. When I count to 3, the whatever, 3, 2, 1, then the smoke come out there. I mean, like it was a real show.
It was part of the
and I remember that's the club that made every promoter in DC that wasn't fucking with me, because I was from Baltimore, whatever, they had a favorite DJ. I remember promoters would come there and be like, nigga, I need you to do that at my club. What you're doing at Ibiza, because we've never seen a DJ control the crowd like that. And I remember, and I can't do that because y'all don't have all the special effects. Y'all have put me in a little ass booth in the corner. Like, quick, put on the show. You're gonna be in a little ass booth with a mic. Like, nigga, where's my light man? Where's my effect? Where's my dancers? Where's my And still to this day, a lot of clubs don't get that. That's why Vegas is Vegas. That's why Miami is Miami. It's not just the DJs playing good music. It's a show. I'm hoping that more owners will watch this and be like, he's right. Like, we're missing the show. Because right now it's all about table service. That's all promoters and owners care about. They don't care who's dancing, having fun. It's how many people can pop bottles and have a cool sign that says, hey, I got more money than Quick and Kurt. That's all they care about. But Ibiza was about the party. It was about having fun and people leaving there dripping sweat because you had so much fun. I miss the mega clubs in DC. Right now, mega clubs, I mean, outside of Park, there's really no mega clubs. All the big clubs, the popping clubs are 200-300 people.
C3W, what is that? Explain that.
Come on, the world's fastest growing wrestling league. Shout out to my partners, Casino and Rich, man. Black-owned wrestling league. If, you know, a lot of us watched wrestling growing up, WWF, WWE, and I always was a fan of wrestling. But I'm in the business now of making my money make money for me. I learned that from a lot of my, investors and accountants, but my OGs. Like, you get to a point where you make a lot of money, but do you want to work until you die? Because if not, if you don't make your money work for you, eventually you'll work until you die, because you're working. You got to maintain your lifestyle and pay your bills and maintain your staff. So with C3W, shout out to Casino and Rich again, but when I remember KC, I call him KC, we got a bunch of businesses, real estate shit that we do together. But when he first brought the idea to me, I'm like, wrestling, nigga, nobody watches wrestling anymore.
Somebody hit my ear and say, man, he got too much motherfucking jewelry, cars, and DJ. So y'all got the answer right there, man. Go ahead, though, man.
So I'm, he brought it to my attention. I'm like, nobody watch wrestling anymore. I don't watch wrestling. He's like, nigga, you don't watch it, but wrestling is still $1 billion industry, not million. $1 billion industry. So now, me, I'm addicted to money and power. So now I start researching, what WWE is and WWF and how the owners took this and how much money is in wrestling. And when I really research it, then I start doing my research. Like, yo, these places still selling out arenas. Like in this year, like if one of those big leagues came, they sell out the arena to 30,000 people. So I'm like, yo, they're still fans. So once I realized that, it was a no-brainer for me, because I'm like, nigga, anything that I can invest in that I know it's a win-win, where it's kind of foolproof, because I've made so many bad investments. I've done so much shit where I let the hype get to me and I lost money, or I jumped too fast and didn't do my homework and my due diligence. But C3W, I'm telling you now, if you don't know what it is definitely going to be black owned. Well, it's already black owned, but it's going to be one of the fastest growing wrestling leagues. We're growing at a rate right now where every show we throw is sold out. We just sponsored the Cannabis Festival when it came to DC. That's our big thing now, is just marketing and getting people to know what we are. And the hopes of it, I'm not going to say hopes, I'm speaking to existence. The goal of it is to get picked up by a major network soon. So we're already working on that. We already, of course, be filming, and we already shot all of our recaps, and we got all our fights. So we've already been pitching it. And we've gotten some offers, but it's bullshit offers. It's an offer that a nigga with no money would take fast. But when you know your value, you can turn down $1 because you know the big money is coming up soon. So hopefully sooner than later.
Out the park, niggas know me. Curb on, little homie. All days, yeah. Been a roll.
Thank you for watching Changing Jewels on Kirkbone TV. If you like the jewels that we are dropping, subscribe, hit the notification, and share with some friends. And I'll see you on the next episode of Changing Jewels, Kirkbone TV.